how's it going? So today's video is gonna be a bit of a menagerie. We just got back from Cleveland, so there's a whole bunch of little things I wanna get done. First off, there are some flower seeds that are on my schedule to get started this week, so we're hopefully gonna do that. Maybe a little bit of tree pruning because it is 50 degrees out. I was sitting in the gazebo just now right in the sun, just soaking it in. And I've got lots of laundry to do. I'll spare you from seeing that, but we are heading to the chicken coop right now to gather the eggs because I haven't been here in 3 days. And then we are gonna bake some potato rolls. And this is one of my favorite things ever to bake because they turn out every single time and they're so super delicious. And it doesn't take a lot of active time. So I can do the first step, then I can come back an hour later, do like, 3 minutes of something, and then let them sit for 2 hours and then bake them. It's just a really inactive process. You just kind of have to set timers for yourself through the day. So this video is gonna probably bounce all over the place from rolls to seeds, back to rolls, to pruning, to rolls, to whatever. So anyway, we'll just see how this whole thing goes. We're gonna go in the coop now and get some eggs. Hello. Oh. We need room temperature eggs, so this is good. Hi girly, can I get underneath you? All I need is 1 egg. Just 1. That's all I need. Hi sweetie. Can I get 1 egg, sweetie? Thank you, that's all I need. I'll come back for the rest later. I have to say, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this Santa Care. I've showed you, it's a Spoma brand. It's for it was originally made for horse stalls, and it's like a really fine wood, like litter almost. But every time I walk in here, it never smells like chicken poop. It smells like wood shavings. It's so awesome. That is what it is. So today we're doing like from coop to table instead of from garden to table because I do have potatoes, but they're not potatoes that I grew because it's February. And I've already worked through almost all of the produce that I grew last year except for garlic. I still have some of that left. The first step with these potato rolls is to cook our potato so we can have some mashed potatoes for the dough and proof our yeast. And I'll do both of those things at the same time. Let me show you the recipe and all of the ingredients first. So this is where I got my recipe, out of a book called The Art and Soul of Baking. It's a beautiful book. It's huge, like it's really thick. Also, I got it out today and check this out. I have some eucalyptus leaves pressing in here. I think I put these in here like, maybe last Christmas. Kind of a fun surprise. And this is the recipe, old-fashioned dinner rolls, basically your potato roll, and I have some notes. Said that they were perfection, that they're dense and chewy, and have made them several times. I've probably made these like 20-25 times at least. And then at one point you can see I made some notes and figured out how many calories were in each one of them when I cared about calories. So for those of you who are mindful, there you go, I did all the work for you. And then of course all the ingredients and the instructions, which I will try to find a link online if I can find this recipe online. If not, I will type it all out for you. But here's everything. Like, it really doesn't take a lot to make these rolls. We have 2.5 cups of flour plus a little additional flour to add into the dough and to flour our surface for kneading. 1.5 teaspoons of yeast, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of warm, like 110 I think, warm whole milk, 1/4 cup of sugar, and a 1/2 stick of butter softened. Then of course I'm gonna use a little bit of cooking spray, and then I've got a couple bowls and my spoon out because I do not have a KitchenAid at the moment. I do everything by hand, which I actually don't mind. It's kind of nice. And my potato and my egg. So first up, we've got to peel this, cut it up, and get it on the stove to cook. So we'll let those come to a boil and just simmer until the potatoes are soft. And I forgot I can't proof my yeast until the potatoes are cooked because we're going to use the starchy potato water to proof our yeast. But while those are cooking, I'm gonna go start a little laundry. I know. Hi, kitty kitty. Would you like something to eat? Hi, bud. Oh, buddy. think things are heating up over here. Oh yeah. Nice. Probably turn her down a little bit. It's been about 6 minutes and the potatoes are feeling soft. I just tested them with a fork. So what I need to do is take a 1/4 cup of the starchy water out and reserve it. I'm just gonna set it aside and let it cool off a little bit. And then with the remaining potatoes, I will mash those up with a fork and just leave them in the pan until I'm ready to use them. And we'll only need about a 1/2 cup of the mashed potatoes. So there's my potato water right there. There's a 1/4 cup and it's cooled off quite a lot because I put it into this cold metal bowl. You want it to be about 110, 115 degrees. And then there's my 1/2 cup of mashed potatoes. But to this water, I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1½ teaspoons of yeast. And then I'll whisk them together and let it sit for about 10 minutes to proof. So that's what it looks like. Now we wait 10 minutes. So it's been about 10 minutes and that looks perfect. So now we're gonna add in the mashed potato, the remaining sugar, the softened butter, and the egg. And I'm just gonna whisk all of this together until it seems to be well blended. It won't look 100% smooth because of the potato in there, but that looks all pretty well incorporated. Now we're gonna add in the 2½ cups of flour and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Oh, I forgot the milk. Ideally, you would have done this at the liquid stage. Shoot. So I'm just gonna stir this for like 2 or 3 minutes until the dough seems to come together, and then we will turn it out onto a floured surface. Well, that's coming together real well. So this is about what it's supposed to look like. See how it's starting to hold a little bit of a shape. It's pulled away from the sides of the bowl, but it's still a little bit sticky and soft. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour, and you can hear Benjamin playing in the background, on my surface, and I'll turn this onto the surface and we'll knead it, adding just a little bit of flour if we need to. This process usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes. So this is about perfect. It's really soft and springy still, like it rebounds decently when I indent it. So now what I'm gonna do is put it in a warm spot for its first rise. So I'm gonna I'm going to coat the bowl with cooking spray. You can use oil or butter. Put my dough in there, spray on the top, then I'll cover it with plastic wrap, and we're gonna put it somewhere warm for 45 to 60 minutes. I think the sun porch will be the perfect place to put this because it is warm up in there right now. So the bread is undergoing its first rise. I've got a 1 load of laundry going. So now I'm gonna run out to the greenhouse and get some flower seeds planted. I love days like this actually, especially when it's nice outside. So I'm planting out here in the greenhouse because I already had kind of my things set up out here, and it's nice to leave the mess out here instead of doing it inside. And it's gorgeous. It's probably 70 degrees in the greenhouse right now, or really close. It's like kind of warm for a sweatshirt for me. I've already gone over seed starting, like how I do it, pre-moistening the soil mix. I use the Espoma seed starting mix. This is the type of tray that I use. I saved one of the tags, the Gooey seed starter kit. So each one of them has a self-watering reservoir. It has the humidity dome as well as the planting tray. What else? Oh yes, I just got a bunch of seeds from Floret. These are the varieties we're focusing on today. There are 5 different types of sweet pea and 1 foxglove. And they do need to be started from seed 10 to 12 weeks before the last hard frost. So that's why we're doing these today. The first one, this Dalmatian peach foxglove, is a type that will bloom the first year. So I was really excited about that. Really beautiful flowers. We'll throw a picture up on the screen of each one of these. And then for sweet peas, I've got Piggy Sue. See if I can get close to each one. We've got White Frills, Windsor, Mr. P, and Molly Rillstone. I think that these sweet peas, I opened one of the bags up last night. I think each bag only has 15 seeds in it. And then the foxglove I think has 40. So I'm going to be kind of splitting them up between all of these trays so that I make sure I've got something planted in each one of the cells. So I did bring out my tags and my marker. I'm going to make tags really quick before I even get started with any of the soil or anything. Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So as I was writing my tags out, I just realized I forgot to soak my sweet pea seeds. So they do need to be soaked for about 8 to 10 hours before you plant them to soften the outer seed coating to help them germinate quicker. I've planted them both ways with pretty good luck both ways, either pre-soaked or non-pre-soaked, but because these are such beautiful varieties and I want to make sure I have success with these, I'm going to go ahead and skip planting today. I'm going to take them inside and get them in some water to soak, and I'll plant them tomorrow. But the foxgloves I can plant today. So I've already got a little bit of my seed starter mix pre-moistened in this bowl right here, and it's perfect. Like, it holds a form, but there's no water coming out of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up my seed trays and get the foxgloves planted. I need a little more. Oh, dang. Oh, for crying out loud. This watering can is very heavy and very hard to be precise with when it's full of water. We've got all of our sweet pea seeds in to soak, so tomorrow morning I should be able to plant them, and I've already got all my trays out there, so it should be a pretty quick project. And then for the foxglove, I'm gonna go ahead and put it under one of my grow lights upstairs because they need light in order to germinate. That's why I did not cover the seeds. I just laid them on top of the pre-moistened soil and then watered them in with my pump sprayer. But I was reading the back of the packet, and it does say that bottom watering right there is recommended until plants emerge, which is perfect when you have a self-watering seed tray. So for the bottom here, you've got the platform and the wicking mat. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this, and we're just gonna fill it with water just until right below where the platform sits. I wanna make sure to get the mat completely moist as well. So that's perfect. So now what will happen, this mat, you can see it's nice and moist, and you can see the water underneath, and the mat kind of just curls underneath one side. See how it goes down, and it goes down into the water. So the water wicks up onto this mat and then just travels across, and then this sits right on top of it, and the soil can just wick up moisture as it needs it from underneath. So there it is. Let me give you a look at my other stuff because it's looking pretty good. These are the other foxgloves that I've planted. There's pink gin in the front half and the cafe cream. Last night I came in here, I had one cell in each one of these that didn't sprout, but see how I've got multiples in each one? So I just dug a seedling out of one of the other cells and planted it in here. Same back there, so I've got a completely full flat. The white glitter Eryngium, I had about 50% success with my germination. There's what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 total out of 24, which is kind of crappy, but I don't really need that many Eryngium, so I'm happy with that. And they are looking healthy, like the ones that are up and looking good are looking good. And then my Lisianthus, even though like at first glance you can't see anything, there is some action. See if I can get it to focus. See that in there? See those little itty bitty green things? And every single cell has them. See that? So, I know they're slow, so I'm trying to be patient. And these are ones I seeded a little bit later. This is the Camelot Mix Foxglove right here. This is also a variety that blooms the first year, and most all of the cells have little seedlings up. Delphiniums, I'm needing to be patient with. They're about half up so far. You can see like in some of the cells. You can see these are just barely starting to come up right now. Barely. And then the tomatoes I planted last week. They're huge. Peppers take a lot longer to germinate, so you can see the back cells here have nothing in them. Those are all peppers. But these are the Good Hearted, Garden Gem, and Garden Treasures that I showed you guys in a video recently. And last but not least, we've got the Green Globe Artichokes. Looking amazing. I actually thinned them last night because there was like 3 in this little cell right here, or this container, and we just needed the 1. But they're looking super healthy. I think it's actually time to switch loads of laundry, and then I think we can work on our rolls a little bit more. All right, let's check on our dough. It's been almost an hour. Oh, yep. That's doubled. That looks awesome. So now we're gonna turn the dough out again onto a lightly floured surface, and I'm just gonna press down on it to release any of the air bubbles or expel any of the air bubbles that are in it. Then I'm gonna put it back in the bowl and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours. And you can leave it in there overnight, which is kind of nice because you could do this step late in the evening and then leave it in the fridge all night long and then bake them the next day if you want to do it that way. And that way you can kind of like, I don't know, break up the steps a little bit and make sure that you're getting them or baking them to where they're as fresh as possible when you're ready to eat them. Our bread dough is still in the refrigerator. I think I've got about 20 minutes left on my timer or so. Aaron and I came out here and I pruned my black cat pussy willow. He got a little bit of footage so we could show you. We'll throw it on the screen. But I showed you guys, or told you when we were planting this last spring, that I was going to be using a method of pruning called Coppice pruning on this specific shrub in order to keep it size controlled. Black cat pussy willows grow about 8 to 10 feet tall and wide, and this one definitely does not have the space to do that, but I really wanted that shrub, that specific one in this space, so I thought I could just keep it size controlled this way. And what coppice pruning is basically every 1 to 3 years you go in and cut your shrub down to the ground. There's usually 3 reasons why coppice pruning happens, and traditionally it was done like with locusts and willow and dogwood, so that every time it was cut back it would produce all of these fresh new branches that were really flexible so people could use them to make things like fences and baskets. Another couple reasons are like with Arctic fire dogwoods, for example. One of the methods of pruning to keep the color nice is to coppice prune. So every other year you go in and cut it back to the ground, and then it flushes back with brand new branches that have really nice color. And then the third reason is to size control, which really, I don't really find the need to do often because usually I pick out something that will fit the space that I have for it, but not always do we find ourselves in that situation. So this right here is the finished product. It's not looking super great, but it will. So I cut it down and just left a little bit of a stub right there. And let me back up so you can see. So this is the area. Like eventually this is a spring snow crabapple that will get massive, and then we've got a weeping Colorado blue spruce, and I just want this nice little shrub right in there. So I may not need to coppice prune every year. Like if it grew this big this year, I would probably let it grow a second year and get up a little higher, and then that, like the consecutive spring, I'd go in and coppice prune it again to keep it nice and low. A couple other things, plants that are traditionally coppice that I know of are locusts and hornbeams and willows and dogwoods. I've heard of people doing oaks and maples that way, like specific varieties, and that's not a comprehensive list. Coppicing has been being done forever, and I don't know all there is to know about it. I just kind of wanted to share the basics, but you do want to be careful what you're pruning and when you're doing it. Traditional coppicing is done like late winter, early spring, so like this time right now is perfect for most things. In the case of this black cat pussy willow, it hasn't bloomed yet. Like the buds are all swollen, and so I could let it bloom out in the landscape and then coppice prune it, or I can cut it back today like I did, take the branches inside and enjoy them, like let them force inside and bloom inside. We've done videos about how to force branches to bloom before. We'll link it down below. Let me show you these branches. So these are what came off of the shrub right there. So these are going to be gorgeous. And I thought I would put them in that vase right there. I've already got some lukewarm water in there, and I've got my pruners, so I'll just make a little simple arrangement and take it inside. Simple, just the branches and the vase, and I needed to keep it tall because there's usually stuff around the base of it. But this will be gorgeous probably in just a few days. These buds are so swollen already. I love it. I've just got to clean up my mess and then go inside and make the rolls. Super excited for that. I'm hungry. I think they're gonna look really pretty right here. I'll probably mess with them a little bit to where the arrangement looks a little bit more, I don't know, just so. But I think I'm gonna go grab some yellow daffodils for this at the grocery store, and then something else for this little one, and have a little trio right here. I think that'll be fun, but I always try to keep it to where everything is fairly upright so that we can still use the island. There's the sweet pea seeds. So now we can finish rolls for dinner. So I've got 9 rolls there. And so now I'm gonna cover it with a towel, and we'll let them rise again for 35 to 45 minutes.
I'll be late.
What? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? Hey, we need to get some socks on your feet. Should we get some carrots for dinner, bud?
No.
Was that a yep or a nope? Do you want some carrots for dinner?
Pop up.
You want up?
Pop up.
You want to hold it, huh?
Put it.
Yeah. You got to point it at something though, baby.
Oh, put I pick it. Huh? Pancakes.
Carrots. Look at that. You want to eat it?
Yeah.
Really? What do you have, bud? What is that?
Baby.
Is that a carrot? Oh, but we have to bring that in for dinner, bud. Can you carry it? Benjamin, we should go show your daddy this weirdo carrot.
What in the world is that?
I grew it.
Benjamin, what is that? Is that a carrot?
His face is like concerned.
Are we gonna eat it?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna eat this for dinner. Can you give this to the chickens while you're out there? It's all the carrot tops. Thank you. They're going on a walk. Oh, they've risen a tiny bit, but not much yet. So I ended up having to bring the rolls in here and set them over a sink full of hot water so that they would rise properly. It was a little too cool in there and I left them in there for too long. Anyway, they're looking really good right now. So I'm gonna put them in a 375-degree oven for 10 minutes and then I'll check on them, rotate them, and let them cook for about 10 more minutes after that. And then we should be good to go. All right, 10-minute check. Oh, they are looking good. Look at those. So we're just gonna turn them and bake them for another 10 minutes. These look so good. They look so good, Benjamin. You excited? Look at these. Ooh, they're perfect. They're soft and they're nice and golden. We want them to be done, so they look really good. You ready?
Yeah. Oh.
Perfection. Okay, so but we need a little bit of this first. These are the best homemade rolls ever. Super yum, huh?
Really good.
All right, guys, so we're just gonna have dinner now. We're gonna have rolls. We have steak, carrots out of the garden that I roasted with olive oil and salt and pepper and a little bit of rice. It's gonna be delicious. So I think that's where I'm gonna end the video. I will get the sweet pea seeds planted up tomorrow morning. I can't believe I forgot to soak them. It is what it is. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.